Hey Paige, this is Coach Kata, and here's your backstroke video. We're going to look from above and then we'll look from below. I'm going to let it go all the way through and you can watch it, and then I'll play it again and let you know what I think. Alright. So, start from the beginning again. The first thing I'm seeing is that your head is looking straight up and it's nice and still. Okay, and that's perfect. That's great. You can also see that every so often, okay, with every stroke you're rotating your shoulder up. I think you could rotate a little bit more, but we'll look at that underwater and see what it looks like. The only other thing I like to look at when I'm looking at the above water camera, okay, is the placement of your hands. Okay, you can see that as you come through, okay, your hand doesn't stay completely straight, it bends a little bit, okay, and then it enters right above your head, okay, and it kind of comes almost crossing the center line of your body. Okay. Now ideally what we would like to see is that your hand is completely straight and that you enter at what would be like 1 and 11 o'clock. Okay. Right now you're kind of putting your hand on both sides right up above your head at like 12 o'clock. What that means is that the initial part of your stroke is actually pulling out to the side rather than down by your feet, and as a result you're moving left to right a little bit when we really only want to spend all of our energy pushing us to the other end of the pool. We'll look at that from below too. Alright, so here's your underwater camera. Okay, the first thing I would say is, as you come off the wall, make sure that you get underwater a little bit, nice tight streamline, and maybe try to get some dolphin kicks in. Okay. I'm going to pause you right here, okay, so we can look at your body alignment a little bit. You'll see that your head's up at the surface, your hips are just a little bit low, and then your legs are a little bit lower than that. Okay? Your head is in a great position. Don't change that at all. However, okay, ideally what we'd like to see is that you fit all into like one cylinder. Okay, you can see that here, where the hips are up at the head's up at the surface, the feet's up at the surface, and the hips just a little bit low. Unfortunately, in comparison, you're a little bit pointed up where you're swimming uphill. Okay, so what we want to do is see how we can fix your stroke in order to get your hips and your legs just a little bit up. I think I know what the problem is, but I'll let it run through a little bit more. Okay. So if we slow it down here and we begin to look at your pull, okay, here's your right arm going in. And you can see the first thing that you're actually doing is because you're entering your hand right above your head rather than like 1 and 11 o'clock, the first thing that your position that your hand moves into is towards the side of the pool. That's making your hips sag side to side. Okay, so try to change the position of where you enter your hand. Okay, and then you're a little straight arm, and then you get into a good catch position. So you have the catch position, it's just coming a little bit late. I'm going to run it through one more time so we can see you from the beginning, and I'll show it to you a little bit better there. Okay. So when you initially enter, your hand sweeps out a little bit to the side. You want to try to eliminate that. And then, if we watch your right hand enter here, you're straight right there, and then you bend. See if you can bend a little bit earlier. That's going to allow you to catch a big bottle of water that you can push down towards your feet. It also makes sure that your palm is always facing the other end of the pool. That way you're always pushing the water this way, okay, which means that your head is going to go to the other end. You're always spending your energy going in the direction you want to go rather than side to side. Going back to your hip position, this is the last thing I want to talk about. And I think that this is going to make a big difference in your stroke. I think the reason that your hips are sagging a little bit is because of the timing of your hands. So if we go back and look here, okay, you can see as you enter your left hand here, okay, and you begin to pull, your other hand is just exiting. Okay, as a result, at this point right here, there's no hands in the water above your head. What that means is that all your weight is below your head, and not as much weight, well, no weight at all, is above your head. And that's what's going to make your hips sink, okay, and therefore your feet as well. So what I'd like to see you do is, as you enter this hand, keep this hand here and wait a little bit, and allow this hand on the left to come up right above to about this position before you pull. What that means is you're always going to have a hand above your head, which will just balance your weight a little bit better. It also means that you're always going to have a hand that's ready to push towards the under end of the water, which is great. Okay, so some really good stuff here. You have a good rotation, good head position, and as you start to work on your underwater pull, I think you're going to see a lot of changes. Oops. Good job, Paige.